Welcome back everyone, and I hope you're all doing well. I'm here in 𝐒𝐸𝐸 National Park, and as you can tell, it is pretty foggy and overcast, but I got here to escape the heat of basically the entire rest of the United States so that I could sleep in my car. But I thought this would be a great time to officially review the Maven Magnetic filter system that I've had, get out of here mosquito, that I've had for about 9 months now, and I've used it for, at this point, 6 months, day to day, really thoroughly, in different places around the world, in the snow, in the rain, in front of waterfalls. I've used it pretty often. And the reason it's taken me so long to make this video is because I could test the image quality of these filters the first day I got them. I actually did that in the initial video that I made. And most of the time, as long as you're spending a decent amount of money on filters, you're probably getting good image quality. So where do the reviews actually matter? And to me, they matter with durability, reliability, and usability. And I can't really test that until I actually use them. So that's what I've been doing. And if you're tuning into this video within the first month, because maybe you're a subscriber or something like that, I'll be giving away a full set of these in this video, so stay tuned for that. For now, I'm gonna walk around and see if I can find some more compositions. Probably gonna end up just talking about these filters though. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
Lately, my songs have been lazy Susan at the table from my neighbors and their scouts.
Okay, so we're gonna start with probably the most important one, which is image quality, but I'm gonna spend the least amount of time on it because I think in reality, as long as you're spending enough money on your filter system, it's probably gonna have decent image quality. What I mean by image quality is whether you're putting a polarizer, a 3-stop, a 6-stop, or 10-stop ND in front of your lens, it's gonna add a little bit of coloration to your images. And the better the filter, the less the coloration or added color in your images you're gonna find. What I found in my testing of all of the filters I've ever tested, these included, usually they all have their own tiny little nuance of characteristics. Almost all 3-stops in all the ones that I've tested, Wine Country Camera, 𝐒𝐸𝐸, Freewell, and now Maven, have all had very little color cast on their 3-stop. They've all had a little bit more on their 6-stop. Some of them are more green, some of them are more magenta, but it's so tiny that you can just fix it in post, and it's not something you're ever really gonna notice in your final images. Now, what I would do is if any of these filters stuck out to me as, wow, this is terrible, there's too much color cast in this image, I would tell you. But they don't. They're all great. They all have different little characteristics compared to some of the other ones I've tested. And that's why I don't really want to dwell too much on the image quality, because I don't really think once you're spending that much money from a reputable company, you're going to get bad image quality. Now, the thing is, you've never heard of this company maybe, and that's why it's important for me to tell you that I've tested them and they're all great image quality. So you don't have to worry there. But I think the more important test is reliability and usability of this magnetic system, which we're going to get to. For now, I'm going to keep looking around for some moody images, maybe shoot some with a telephoto here, and see if I can get some of this moving water down here.
My train of thought travels at the speed of lightning or something faster. I wonder what it means. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll dream. Distract me so I don't notice my teeth falling out. Build a wall around me to keep the eels out of my bedroom.
Well, as you can tell, it is very moody here in 𝐒𝐸𝐸. This is basically what it looked like this morning for sunrise. It's very treacherous because sunrise is at like 4:50 a.m. So to wake up and get out here and try to shoot something when it looks like this, it's tough. It's mentally taxing. But I'm out here. We're about 40 minutes from sunset. I think this location would be great for sunrise. Sunrise is somewhere in that vicinity, and all of this would be lit up. Maybe if I got a little bit lower. We'll talk about some compositional elements when I actually go through and shoot something that I feel like I have something to talk about and I'm getting the light that I want. Right now, a lot of this is not the light that I'm looking for, and it's almost too moody. Now, a lot of this can work for some really great shots with mood in them. I'm just not necessarily finding many shots like that. I may have shown you one or two that I've taken so far. But what's hilarious is that most of these conditions are not conditions that I would use either the polarizer or any of the ND filters on. There is a shot down here that I'm gonna set my tripod up and shoot with my 70-200 of there's these, I don't know, this little pool of water that keeps going in and out. At the right time, it might create a nice, cool composition. But once I do that, we're also gonna talk about durability. Durability using these NDs, the polarizer made by Maven. But first, let's set up this shot.
I will praise the God in white jeans, fall down before him and watch the land turn to sea, and the beauty turn to ashes.
All right, so you can kind of see the shot here, right at the bottom of the frame. You see that water that's right above this ledge right here, and you see it moving there in that cove. Now, when it's not moving and not creating any turbulence, you can't really see the water. But when it does happen, the water is really, really blue and it sticks out, especially in this fog. The color just kind of really pops in front of all of these rocks. So I'm gonna have to put an ND on my 70-200 here and try to take a pretty long exposure and hope that the tide keeps going in and out and causing it. Because this whole time I've been recording, it hasn't happened, but it has happened a few times while I'm standing here. It's kind of happening right now. So I'm gonna set that up, try to take the shot. I'm really not sure if it's gonna work, but it just caught my eye when I was standing here filming this. So let's just at least try it, shall we?
To ashes, and I will scream my song so loudly that I'll lose my voice and no one even hears me.
All right, so as the light fades here, let's talk a little bit about durability and why it took me so long to make this video. And that's because I think that this is one of the more important things and why I wanted to test it over the last 6 months is actually using this in the real world and putting it through its paces. Also, when it comes to magnetic systems, magnets tend to weaken over time. It's just the nature of them. That's just a physics thing. We can't magically beat that by using some special magnets. All magnets tend to deteriorate a little bit over time. And something I noticed about the very first magnetic system that I used by Freewell is that those magnets, when I got them compared to when I got these, are probably about a third as strong. So these are really strong magnets in this filter system. And it's been absolutely great because the Freewell system now, after owning it for, I want to say almost 2.5 years, maybe 2 years, those magnets have weakened to the point where I don't really trust them anymore. Even when I first got them, they were not strong enough for me to really put a lot of trust into. These, however, have never fallen off. I've never had any issues with them. And even though they've probably weakened just a little bit over time, they're still as strong, way stronger than any other system I've used. And it's something that I can rely on and not have to worry about when I'm carrying around my camera over the shoulder, which I do a lot, or when I'm pulling it out of my bag, those kind of things. So that's the kind of thing that I wanted to make sure worked really well, and why I didn't make the video immediately, because I really wanted to use these, and I really have. And I still think that this is the best system I've used so far in terms of innovation, the durability and reliability, and I haven't had any issues. Again, has not fallen off once, even when pulling out of my bag and stuff like that. On top of that, the lens caps are also great. They're lighter, super strong magnets. You can stack everything, and it all fits in this case. It's hard to beat.
Turn to ashes, and I will scream my song so loudly that I'll lose my voice and no one even hears me. I wonder what it means. I'm gonna go to sleep and dream distracts me, so I don't notice my teeth.
Okay, so we're finally getting some light during sunset or sunrise, so I'm not going to spend much time talking to the camera. However, this is the point in time where I'm going to tell you about the contest to win an entire set of these 3-stop, 6-stop, 10-stop polarizer, and a lens filter protector. You can do that by going on my Discord. There's going to be a channel in there called Photo Contest or Photo Share Contest, something like that. And all you're going to have to do is go in there and share a photo. preferably one that uses an ND filter or a polarizer, one that you took as well, and that's it. I would love if you talked on there, responded to other people's photos, but all you have to do to actually just enter the contest is go on there and share a photo that you took in the next month since the release of this video. And you can win a set of these. I can ship pretty much anywhere in the world besides India and Italy. Those are the only two spots I can't really ship to. So I also want to just say thank you to Michael, and I think this is a really good time to bring up my relationship with the CEO or the owner, creator, whatever, of this company, and that I am obviously biased for the future because of how well he has treated me, but I feel like that's just a natural bias. He has gone out of his way to get me a set of these to test. He overnighted them to me literally within an hour of reaching out the very first time we talked. And since then, he's asked me for advice. He's asked me for my opinions on the products. He sent me secret stuff of things that they're working on and ideas. And overall, it's just felt really, really nice. It's felt way different than just a big company or a company that I just work with a particular social media person or something like that. And he's gone out of his way to always take care of me. And that instills a lot of good values in myself. And it means that if I recommend something to you, that you're getting something that I really believe in. And I have a feeling that if you ever had any issues, you could always reach out to me and I could see what's going on. But anyways, that's how you enter the contest. Michael, thank you for doing this. Thank you for allowing me to give away a free set of these to one of you guys. All right, let's go see if we can find a shot. All right, I suspect the light is not going to get any better. The light was probably the best with the very first shot I took, which is unfortunate because I was kind of hunting around for compositions with this little cove that you can see behind me. And it creates this nice wave, as you see right there as I'm talking, and it comes up and creates this nice blue hue in the image. The problem is the very first compositions I took have this leading line that of a rock shooting outside of the frame. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I don't think it's as strong as it could have been if I had more time to sit here. But I was kind of frantically looking for a shot just to get something in the bag while the sun was actually showing. And there was some nice fog on the horizon, that very early image that I took. And I think maybe the light is strong enough that the image was probably okay enough to at least present to you when I'm done talking. But that's the shot. I'm gonna sit around and wait around a little bit more, see if we get some atmosphere in the clouds and maybe find some more compositions. And I'll just show you the shot now, and I would love to know what you think down below. And then my final thoughts on the Maven filter system. I'm actually using a polarizer right now, no NDs because I'm at f16 at about 1/4 of a second shutter. It's exactly where I want to be with this water movement. We're actually losing light, so right now I'm bringing that aperture down and shooting that ISO up to compensate. Anyways, here's the image with the settings. Hope you enjoy. I'm with you always. You've had me all along. We've gone a long way. Now take it home. Take it home. Let's go together. Take a walk in the desert. Get a summer glow and no Well, it feels really good to see a little bit of sunlight, even though I wasn't totally in love with my compositions. And that's gonna wrap up this video. So do I recommend the Maven Magnetic filter system? Absolutely. If it's not obvious, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're in the market for a circular magnetic system, or just a circular system in general. However, I will add the caveat that I don't want to blindly recommend it to every single viewer. And it's not because of the product, it's actually just because everyone has slightly different needs. Something that's difficult about magnetic filters is that they require a decent amount of dexterity in your hands. You need to have decent movement in your hands, or you need to be the type of person that's not super clumsy, and you need to have confidence and be able to add and remove these magnetic filters from each other or from the front of your lens, because sometimes it can be a little difficult. That is just the nature, or the cost, I would say, of using a magnetic system. What that means for you is if you are the type of person that has struggles more with using their hands, or you're a little bit slower, or you are clumsy, maybe a square filter system is better for you. So even though those are a little bit slower, they're a little bit more cumbersome, and they're gonna take up more room, that might be the system for you because it's easier for you to use. In my case, I prefer this system. I can just pop everything on. It's very compact, and it's all just right here, and this is pretty much all I ever need. So you need to ask yourself those questions. There's other benefits to square drop-in filters, and I'm not gonna compare or contrast everything, but an example is because they're much larger at 100 by 100, that means that the size of the filters that you're buying aren't necessarily as important. So all of my lenses, for example, are a thread size of 77 millimeters. That means that all of my filters are 77 millimeters. And if I buy a lens that's 82 or 87, that means I can't use any of these with it. But with a square filter system, I wouldn't have to worry about that. So there's gonna be a little bit of benefits and give and take between the two systems. And I really think it just comes down to your needs. I think in a vacuum, majority of the people I would tell, hey, try the system out. It's not gonna get in your way. It's one of my favorite systems I've ever used, and I highly recommend it for all of the things and reasons we've talked about. Anyways, I'm getting eaten up alive by mosquitoes out here, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. Good luck in the contest. Make sure you submit one of your photos down below. And as always, you can like this video if you liked it. Consider subscribing if you loved it. There's gotta be some rainbows out there somewhere. Maybe we'll see some here in Acadia National Park. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Later.